Evening, everyone. It's about 5:45, and this is your closing commentary. It is video number 375, and I'd really appreciate if you like the work to hit the like button and to subscribe. Okay, so we started the day off with particularly hot CPI numbers. For anyone who didn't hear, they were plus 0.6% versus an expectation of 0.3, and ex food and energy, because who drives or eats, they were plus 0.6% versus 0.2 expected. And a little later on, we got the Treasury budget deficit, which was $63 billion. It doesn't really compare because they don't seasonalize it. Doesn't really compare with the 800 and change billion dollar deficit from last month. But year over year, it was 63 versus 119.7. So that is somewhat of an improvement. Clearly, clearly the biggest news of the day was Tesla, with its arithmetic, meaningless to the real world 5-for-1 split. But that didn't stop people from running into it. It finished the day 1554, up 13.1% or 180 points. So pretty amazing. Also, though, we had news from Moderna, which caused people to run into it first thing this morning. But I guess calmer and more rational heads won out the day. It opened and was up 11% on the $1.5 billion additional money that the government is giving it to research, develop, and sell to the government a vaccine. But by the end of the day, it finished 69.52, which was only up 55 cents or 0.8%. LYFT had earnings, or lack thereof. They missed top and bottom line, and the stock really wasn't doing too much, but it is down substantially now because in the conference call they said that unless they win an appeal, it looks like they would suspend California operations over the reclassification of drivers as employees, and California is 16% of their total rideshare business. The Dow finished the day close to the high, but not on it, up 289.93 for a little over 1%, and as I said, clearly the winner was the NASDAQ. It was up 229.42 or 2.13%. The S&P finished up 46.66 or 1.4% after touching the old high, but selling off ever so slightly, and as I said, finishing up 1.4%. And the Russell had an uneventful day, up $8 or 0.5%. What was interesting here is that with the market up so dramatically, the NYSE advanced declines were 9-5, and the NASDAQs were only 9-7. So, we had a pretty major move here, and 9-7 is not terribly impressive, especially when you factor in the issue of volume being down again. I know that it's summer, but it was summer yesterday, and the volume was even lower today. In the Dow, we were 23 up and 7 down, so that was actually the best performance. The only two major losers were Boeing, taking off 32 Dow points, and American Express down 10 Dow points. And on the upside, it was also a pretty sparse list. We were up 289. 100 of that came from Apple. 46 each, so 92 came from Home Depot and UNH, and 40 came from Microsoft. So you have 232 points there of a 289 point rally, basically in 4 stocks. After the close, Cisco had earnings, or lack thereof. They missed top and bottom, and they gave lousy guidance. And, this is clearly the division between old tech and new tech. If you remember last week, Intel had crappy earnings, and the stock has moved from 62 to 49. On the other side of the ledger, we have stocks like AMD, up 7.5% today, 82 up 573. NVIDIA, a real winner today, even though it didn't top the list on a percentage gain. It was pretty impressive at 457.61, up 23.61 or 5.4%. AVGO, which is Broadcom, 333.64, up 9.16 or just short of 3%, and it made a new all-time high today at 335.88. I wish they'd either change the name of the company to Avago or change the symbol to something that seems more like Broadcom. And tomorrow we have earnings from Applied Material, who is a manufacturer. So there you have it. On the futures side in commodities, we had a nice move in the oil today, 42.67, which was up $1.06. But clearly the focus was on the gold, which closed at 1949 and was up 2.7 dollars. And we were as low as 1874 last night and as high as 1961 today. So basically, we've had a nice pullback from just under 2100 to just over 1800, or just under 1900, which is still, over 10% pullback in a matter of days. It went through the 20-day moving average, but stopped well short of the 50-day. In any event, this is a pretty good area. It could come down and test again, but I really wouldn't expect it to break last night's low. And if it did, I think that would change my attitude about what the risk actually is for being long in the gold. The other thing that I wanted to show was the silver, which was down 7 cents today, but not really much of a net change. But again, like the gold, a hell of a day yesterday and today. We had a range yesterday all the way down to 24.48. Last night we traded as low as 23.58 and actually closed, as I said, down 7 cents, which is certainly nothing on a $23, $25 commodity. This one too has had a history of big pullbacks and very quick consolidations. Here we had the breakout at $20 and we got up here to over $26, and then the same day we came all the way back down to 22.5 after being 26.25, and rallied up, tested that low, and then took off again. We rallied pretty basically from 25 all the way up to just under 30, so $5, and we basically pulled all the way back to that same area of support. What was surprising today was that the bond market was pretty decent, had a very big auction this week in a series of maturities, and the dollar really didn't do much. It was actually down 19 cents, but again, it looks to me like we're going to go sideways to higher here. This 20-day moving average is a problem, but as you can see, the 5 days already leveled off and started back up. So we could get across back to the upside. And as I've been saying now for 2 weeks, we could get a rally to 95 or as high as 96 without in any way harming the overall negative look. Bitcoin was up 230. All right, everyone, have a good evening. Hope you had a good day today, and I'll be back first thing in the morning.